I'd now like to call to order the regular school board meeting of Tuesday, January 14th, 2014 of the Columbia Heights Public Schools Independent School District 13. I think we already did the Pledge of Allegiance earlier this morning. We had an organizational meeting earlier today, this afternoon, not this morning. So I think we can dispense and skip that. So, Missy, would you call the roll?
Palmer.
Here.
Ardell.
Here.
Larkin.
Here.
Landwehr.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
And Lee. I'm here.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
As is our custom, Columbia Heights Public Schools creates worlds of opportunity for every learner in partnership with support of small-town communities by challenging all to discover their talents, unleash their potential, and develop tools for lifelong success. This evening, we do have a Heights Lights, and the board will honor Brian Hennekens, Director of Technology and Security Services, and I have a little thing here I'd like to read about Mr. Hennekens.
Should we see the video? May I say a few words and share
Oh,
the video?
absolutely, sorry.
Okay, very good. I was teasing Brian because tonight's all about Brian, one more time, and then when it's over, Brian. No, just kidding. While Dawn is putting up a video clip that some of us saw at the TIES conference about Brian, I would just like to say that to be an effective technology leader, you have to be a model innovative use of technology, and you have to empower educators and parents and students and the community with technological solutions. And Director Hennekens does this in Columbia Heights on a daily basis. Brian, I like to call him our model-in-chief when it comes to technology. Brian models his ability to change and break down barriers, and he also makes other people feel supportive and change as well. And he's had an uphill battle with me, and I will be eternally grateful. His leadership has helped us to create worlds of opportunity for our students, and when I think of Director Hennekens, I believe he's the gold standard of what the directors of technology can be. And for our students and for our staff and the technology leadership team, he's priceless. And evidently TIES felt the same way, and so if Don has the videotape up or the CD, DVD, we'll watch a little clip. Here it goes.
Okay, Mr. Hennekens.
Are we at the end of it?
Close it out. Oh, yeah, starting there.
Do we have do we have sound?
Muted.
Where's the sound?
Audio service is not running, it says.
We hate to call on you for your own award, but would you mind stepping forward?
I thought I was just pushing a button.
Where's Brian when you need him?
We thought we had it. Yeah, it's gonna problem. There we go.
Congratulations to the 2013 Minnesota Technology Leader, Brian Hennekens, Director of Technology, Columbia Heights Public Schools. Brian Hennekens is a model-in-chief of change leadership. Brian executed the approach developed by Superintendent Kelly that was inspired by the TIES Superintendent Technology Leadership Program. A series of workshops helped create advocates for using technology in the classroom. He worked to create equity. He supported one-to-one initiatives, teacher and student access to online resources. He also increased broadband access, including cheaper internet access for families in the district. His efforts to improve access to technology and champion the use of 21st century learning strategies, such as flipped classrooms and online programming, has resulted in impressive student achievement. For example, MCA math proficiency rose 20% for minority high school students in flipped classrooms. High school students of color also had dramatic gains in MCA science proficiency. Over 70% of students in one elementary school met MCA math standards after staff used laptops to formatively assess students and develop targeted instructions based on the data. He helped to develop a project with the Cunningham Group that transformed space at North Park Elementary to a learning studio that is wildly popular with students, parents, and teachers, and gaining statewide notice. TIES congratulates Brian Hennekins on his 2013 Minnesota Technology Leadership Award.
Now it's my turn. I have more nice things to say about Mr. Hennekins. Brian Hennekins, Director of Technology for Columbia Heights Public Schools, is the winner of the TIES 2013 Minnesota Technology Leader Award. Believing in the promise of technology for academic success, Brian has been a transformational leader in bringing 21st century learning to the Columbia Heights School District. Brian has played a key role in transforming learning for district students by using technology to help close the achievement gap. He has worked to create equitable access, supporting one-to-one initiatives, teacher and student access to online resources, including Moodle and Schoology, and increased broadband access, including cheaper internet access for families in the district. Brian was recognized as the 2013 TIES Minnesota Technology Leader at the TIES 2013 Education Technology Conference Awards reception on December 16th. In addition to receiving the award and free admission to the conference, he has been nominated by TIES for the National Withrow CTO Award of the Consortium for School Networking. Please join me in congratulating Brian Hennekins. Brian Hennekins is recognized for being named the TIES 2013 Minnesota Technology Leader Award recipient. Thank you for your dedication to the students, staff, and community of the Columbia Heights Public School District on behalf of the Board of Education. I hope so. Thank you. Thanks again, Brian. It's always nice to start the year out with the Heights lights, so thanks for the opportunity. All right, agenda approval, adjustments, announcements, and correspondence. Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll move that forward.
Second.
Motion by Laura, second by John. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Announcements, January 20th, Monday, no school. January 21st, Tuesday, 6 p.m., school board work session, community room. January 24th, Friday, no school. January 28th, Tuesday, 7 p.m., regular school board meeting here in the community room. February 11th, Tuesday, 5 p.m., subcommittee on policy, superintendent conference room. February 11th, Tuesday, 7 p.m., regular school board meeting here in the community room. Superintendent Kelly, any correspondence?
There's none at this time.
Thank you very much. Communication to the board. At this time, any citizen or employee may briefly address the school board. The board will listen to brief remarks, ask clarifying questions, and if desired, request that the administration follow up. However, the board will not take action on this meeting on requests presented at this time. Anyone who'd like to come before the board? Seeing none, move on to the consent agenda, which consists of minutes of the December 10th, 2013 school board meeting, personnel report, and a treasurer report for November 2013. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Missy, second by Laura. Discussion on the consent agenda. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And motion is carried. Next on our agenda is discussion, reports, and information items. Board members will report on board activities since last regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education. And Missy Lee.
Nothing to report.
All right, thank you very much. Laura Palmer.
Oh, I have a ton to report. So, since the last meeting, I attended the TIES conference, and it was really a great honor to see the presentations that we had there as well. There was there was so much information. Now, the theme of the conference was called Futurecation, which was kind of a metaphor for how students are learning now. When you would want to go to, learn something, when I was a child, it would be a matter of going down to the library and finding a couple of books and then searching through those books for that information. Where the students today have an incredible amount of information that's available, and they can access it so quickly that that we really need, they're 5 steps ahead of us. We are the last of the pre-internet generation. So that was the basis of this, was just, how is the new educational model going to be going forward? Because the old model is not the way that the kids are learning now. They're not looking at a book, they're going on YouTube, So, and without a doubt, technology is here to stay. So I thought that was just amazing. There was so much information there. I highly encourage anybody to go to TIES. There must have been 100 presentations, and you can only go to so many in a day. And they were all incredibly, it was really, really hard to pick and choose. So that was the first thing that I did. Then I attended the choir concert over at the junior high, the Columbia Academy. And that was really pretty good. Really, the talent that we have in this district, I know I hear it over and over again, but it's true. The girls' choir was just phenomenal. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't believe it was, a junior high, the middle school, they sounded so much more mature. That was fantastic. Then I was able to attend the Highland, they have the second graders go, or the second graders go, was it the first graders or the second graders? First graders go over to the Crestview, and that was a lot of fun. The residents there just absolutely loved it. There were a lot of kids there too. I can't believe how many first graders there were. So that was pretty exciting. Then I attended the band concert that week as well. And so we got to see the 6th grade band, the 7th and 8th grade band, and I guess they call them the Highlander, the honors band. And they're just, Mr. Palmer's done a wonderful job over there, just a wonderful job. Those kids are really, really learning so much, lots of great solos and things like that. I look forward to seeing what happens in the spring. Then I attended the 9/16 meeting. We had our organizational meeting this past Wednesday, and there were a couple of things that happened there. One of them was a report on the different types of the trends. The main focus of it was the trends in different types of disabilities, or where you would need special education services. And one of the things that they're looking into, and I believe they're going to be meeting with all the districts, is to find out whether or not there is something coming up the ladder so they can prepare for it. So I believe he had said that later this month he was going to try to meet with everybody there. So I thought that was interesting. We also got some preliminary numbers on doing some work over at Capitol View. That's a school that needs a sprinkler system put in before any type of remodeling can be done. But the ability to be able to actually put that sprinkler system in has to come from a funding source that 9/16, as an intermediate district, does not have access to. So there's a couple of things legislatively that they're looking at on how to perhaps rearrange some sort of bonding issue, or allow it to be able to go through the districts, or something along those lines. It's kind of complicated, but it's going to have to take legislative intervention. We also got some numbers on basically tearing it down and building over again. So, because the school needs substantial amounts of work. And I'm really hoping that they can come to a more economical way. It's a great location, and I think it serves the districts well. So, and other than that, I froze like everybody else last week. And then loved this past weekend, so.
Amen, thank you. Lori?
No report.
Ted?
It's been quite a while, but I think the only thing that I did during that time was to help with the all-night party. They're having fundraisers at Sarna's and at the VFW, so
Okay.
trying to raise money. And then I'm looking forward to the Leadership Conference for Minnesota School Board Association tomorrow, Thursday and Friday.
All right, thank you. John?
Just briefly, I had the opportunity to watch Columbia Academy's production of Alice in Wonderland Junior. The kids did an amazing job. I was biased about one of the actors in particular, but the group in general just did a really nice job. They had a fundraiser, spaghetti dinner that Friday night. I was able to attend that. And then the Columbia Academy band concert also. They did a really nice job. So then the conference coming up this week. So that's it.
All right, thank you very much. I'm just going to say a few brief remarks on the MSD meeting that took place last Friday. The featured speaker was Eric Kaler, the president of the University of Minnesota. Just some brief comments. What I took away, obviously, education is the bedrock of the state of Minnesota. Interesting statistic, 48% of the students that attend the University of Minnesota are from the 7-county metro area, which says a lot. The neighborhoods or the places that have the most alumni and students are White Bear Lake and Prior Lake in the 7 metro. Who knew? He went on and talked quite a bit about the opportunity gap, not the achievement gap, but the opportunity gap, Generation Next, and education and philanthropic sorts of activities to meet this opportunity gap. What they're focusing on is using data to drive decisions, and it begins in Minneapolis and St. Paul. One of the things they know for sure, mentors make a huge difference in kids' academic life. Other things that they do is they help provide college-ready curriculum. They put on the Minnesota Principals Academy, and of course they have partnerships with many schools, including our school. So some of the things that are on their agenda at the legislature is they're proposing infrastructure improvement. Mr. Kaler said 30% of the buildings are at least 70 years old. And, and the other thing which Laura and others, Ted, talking about technology, he mentioned that improvement in teaching spaces is needed. Not only are the buildings 70 years old, but they haven't really kept up with, the way people learn these days and that sort of stuff. So the other thing, which I thought was kind of funny, he's also going to push the legislature to repeal a law that was passed by the legislature in 1905 that holds the regions accountable for overspending on the state budget. And it's actually a criminal count, it's a misdemeanor, so hasn't never been enforced, so take it off the book. The other thing he talked about a little bit was affordability, the future. Dr. Kaler says that his focus is going to be on aggressive pressure on costs, reallocation of resources to try to get the best bang for the buck. There was a tuition increase, primarily due to state funding, and he emphasizes that's a balance, between affordability and taxpayer funds, et cetera, et cetera. And what I didn't know either was that their yearly revenue is $3.5 billion, which is very large, a lot larger than I thought. And mentioned that the state provides 18% of their funding. And his focus is also going to be on being very aggressive with financial aid for students. So those are some of the comments that I found interesting. And he's a very good speaker, funny, articulate. So if you get a chance to listen to him, I think you'd be impressed and entertained. So, all right. Superintendent Kelly.
No report tonight.
All right. Next on our agenda, board policies, first reading. 504, student dress and appearance. 509, enrollment of non-resident students. 526, hazing prohibition. 527, student use and parking of motor vehicles, patrols, inspections, and searches. 602, organization of school calendar and school day. 603, curriculum development. 604, instructional curriculum. 613, graduation requirements. 620, credit for learning. 806, crisis management policy, and these policies will appear on a future agenda for approval. Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Chair, do you want?
Yeah,
to
go
make
ahead.
a comment? I just wanted to make a comment that congratulations to MSBA. This is the earliest they've gotten out some of their revisions to policies, and they came out in December. And usually they come out in about April or May, so please pass that along, Member Lee. That was great. 509, 602, 603, and 604 have some changes or modifications to them. So between now and when the subcommittee meets again, or if we have time at the school board work study, we might want to just look at those one more time. Some of them are minor, and some of them may need some more revisions. We've sent them over to Karen Keppel already, and so there will be some changes to those four.
All right.
It's a first reading, so we don't need to pull them out of there.
That's right.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
I just wanted to make people aware, and to thank MSBA, because we'll actually be current, which is great.
And I noticed that 613 and 620, the grad requirements and credit for learning are very well, are very, lots of change to them.
Lots of
So
changes,
It's
yeah.
very substantial change,
Yeah,
that's what I was
very-
gonna say. So, you know, if you're gonna look at a policy, these are being pretty well replaced, so.
Yeah. Changes in the law and policies
Yeah.
and all that, so very good comment, thank you. All right. Any questions, comments? All right. Move on to our action items. Item, building non-affiliated salary increases. This evening, we have Lindsay Bennett, our Director of Human Resources, and Bill Holmgren, Director of Finance and Operations.
Chair Bardell, members of the board, Superintendent Kelly, Director Holmgren and I were here on December 10th as an information item discussing the salary increases for the group we call building non-affiliated positions for 13-14 and 14-15. So tonight, we're just here seeking approval.
Do I have a motion?
So move.
I'll second that.
Motion by John, second by Laura. Any discussion?
I just, for the record, clarification that this is the same thing that everyone else has had, and you're just kind of, we're wrapping that all up, right?
They're in the next rotation, so yes.
Okay.
I guess I would just say this is, the reasoning is the equity in the district, for treating all the groups the same.
Yeah.
We'll make that comment.
Yep. All right. Hearing no more discussions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And motion is carried. Board topics. Thank you, Bill and Lindsay.
Thank you.
Guess I would encourage people to come out to Sarna's and VFW and help out the all-night party committee when they can. It's bingo, I think, at Sarna's, so. And do you know what they do? at
And when is that?
Bingo is Saturday afternoons from 11 to 2. And I
then
forget what,
the meat raffle is at 6 o'clock at the VFW.
Okay.
On Fridays.
And we're also selling, don't forget about the casino run. So that's in February, and that's huge in the community. They line buses up and take people out to Turtle Lake, so.
At VFW is Friday, correct?
Pardon?
Friday.
The meat raffle is Friday.
Friday.
And the
At
bingo
6.
is Saturday.
Correct.
Okay.
And people, if they wish to, can donate.
They can donate, they can volunteer, they can come and just join us and have fun.
All right.
So.
The next meeting is January 15th at Immersion Hall. So, no, and the purpose of the party is to provide a safe place for students to celebrate after their graduation.
Yep. Very, very worthwhile. All right. Any other board topics? Hearing none, we can adjourn the meeting at 8:08 PM.